Hello again, Juliane. So for those of you watching the recording, you've probably just thought we've done a quick change of clothes, new
A
hairdo for the
wardrobe
day.
change.
Why not? Wardrobe change, intermission. No, we did have a few technical difficulties yesterday. Gotta love internet in regional Australia. But that's okay. We're all about it. We all have to deal with it. So you just gotta pick it up and move on and finish it off the next day, which is exactly what we're doing. So, Juliane, where we left off yesterday, you were answering our last question of the session. Perfect timing. So, what I'd love to know from you today, just to round out our conversation, is your tips for ensuring personal well-being is achieved, and in the same breath, but probably opening up a whole other can of worms, like how to avoid burnout, really, probably one and the same thing.
And you're right, Yaz. I think it is one and the same thing. In a nutshell, it's awareness. So when you can become acutely aware of where you are emotionally, that's when you can put, various things in place to ensure your emotional well-being. And, and this is where when we talk about being emotionally invincible, which we do in the book, I suppose what I want to take some time pointing out to people is it's not about suppressing or repressing emotions, which is so often what we do. When we're busy, when we feel as though we're under the pump, quite often what we're not doing is stopping, recognizing where we are emotionally. So we do one or two things. We suppress it, or in extreme cases, we repress it. So suppressing it is just pushing it under the carpet. I don't have time to deal with this. I can't take time out to be sad. I can't take time out to be depressed. I'm not going to recognize that I'm angry because I need to put this face on. That's suppression. Repression is when the emotion or the experience that we're in is so traumatic that our subconscious actually locks it away. And so that sort of stuff, we're not even consciously aware of that. That's a repression. So what we have to do to ensure our own well-being is emotional invincibility is about recognizing it and processing it so that we don't repress it, we don't suppress it, we process it. And we can process it on a minute-to-minute basis, on a daily basis. And that's why Trevor and I developed a tool, and it's in the book, and we use it, I think, in probably every conversation we have with anyone we coach. And it is the emotional ladder. And what it does is it very simply returns someone to what is the feeling behind the thought I'm having, so that you can immediately own where you are emotionally. So, I'm grieving, or no, I am angry. That thought, behind that thought is the emotion of anger. As soon as you own it, what it does is it bounces you up the ladder. So if you have a look at the ladder, acceptance is high up the ladder. So you accept, you own what you are feeling emotionally, and that in itself helps you to process. Own it emotionally. I am feeling angry. I am feeling depressed. Whatever it is that awareness piece. Because in that awareness piece, yes, it bounces you up to acceptance, but also with that awareness, you can make a decision as to what you need to do. So maybe it is take time out to meditate. Maybe it is taking time out to do something physically, because when we talk about well-being, For me personally, my non-negotiables on a daily basis is meditation and movement, the two M's. If you want to look after your mental health, I think those are huge. And unfortunately, I think a lot of people are worried about meditation, or perhaps don't take on meditation because they feel it has to be this certain practice, or that it has to be this something certain procedure. Look, meditation is just about creating a gap between your thoughts. And as you move into a bigger and a deeper meditation, those gaps just get bigger. And so it can be a huge, long, more time consuming process that has deeper benefits. But meditation can be as simple as taking yourself away from what you are doing and just creating this quiet space for yourself, to
Yeah.
create a gap between your thoughts. And then, of course, movement, as human beings, we were designed to move. And yet, we often find ourselves in very sedentary um, occupations or careers. And, we have to create the opportunities. We have to make that priority, because if you're not looking after yourself physically, we are so interconnected that mentally it will affect your health as well. So that
Absolutely.
movement and meditation piece. But the biggest thing, I think, is awareness of where you are emotionally. Because on a quantum physics level, wherever you are emotionally, that is the only thing you can attract. So if you are living and working constantly in a state of depression, if you are living and working constantly in a state of guilt, or you're angry a lot of the time, and you are not aware of it, and you are not um, making the changes that you need to make to lift yourself emotionally, you need to realize that that is the only thing that you can attract. Your
That's
life
such
is
a,
a mirror.
yeah, such a big
Your
one,
life
isn't it? Yeah.
is a mirror to you. And it's a really tough pill to swallow when things
Oh, it
aren't
sure
going,
is.
when things aren't going well, to go, hey, my outer state is a reflection of my inner state. And so often, look, I am that A-type personality that before I did this work, when things weren't going well, my default was to knuckle down and, push through. You work harder, you dig in, you make stuff happen. Um, and and it's almost counterintuitive for those A-type personalities. But when that sort of stuff starts to happen, what you do need to do is you need to draw back, you need to get reflective, and you need to go within, because what is happening outside is a reflection of what's going on inside. And so this is where
Absolutely.
using that ladder that's in the book, Yaz, it's so simple. And because it's simple, people can get it. You know, you can have that beside your work desk. I've got it on my fridge in my kitchen. And to constantly, when you're in a thought loop, when you've got something, and it'll probably be a unresolved relationship, to bring it back to, the conversation that we had about the stuff that messes you up. So A, probably an unresolved relationship. But B, if it's a thought loop, if it's something you've returned to time and time again, to stop that thought loop, say, just a minute, what is the feeling behind that thought? I'm worrying. Okay, so worry on the ladder is fear. So if I'm sitting on the rung of fear, so important that I have the awareness of that. As soon as I accept it, I bounce up to acceptance. Once you're in acceptance, you are in a far better place to think about, make plans, you know, take the step.
Absolutely. We never make good decisions from fear, do we?
Oh, never,
No,
never, because all we can attract is
it's
what we
fear.
put out.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. I love that this has really all come full circle, Julia. And thank you for such an amazing chat. Far out. And I love also that your the three main tips for sort of avoiding burnout, but also ensuring well-being is at the top is, awareness, movement, and some meditation. And it's funny because anyone in this sort of field, it's so simple. I think people want this magic bullet or like they want an excuse as to why they can't do it. They want it to be complicated so
Mm,
they can come up with something that I couldn't possibly do that. I don't have time. But you just have to make time. And even if it starts with 5 minutes a day and then next week it's 10 minutes a day and the week after it's 15, just find something you enjoy and do it. And
yeah.
I actually had to give myself a kick up the bum. I'll show you my screensaver on my phone. It's You always have time for what you put first.
Oh,
And I loved
yes.
that one because, yeah, I definitely was falling into a point where I was like, oh no, I don't need to exercise. I'm like, I can't today. I've got too much client work on and blah, blah, blah. And I was like, no, I always feel so much better and get so much more done when I've taken the time to even have 30 minutes of a morning where I just move and get it done. I'm always in a better mindset for the day. So I love that you've,
Oh,
yeah,
100%.
it's
And
good
and
stuff.
and that's yeah, yeah. And look, what you've got on your phone is my mantra to myself
Mm,
and anyone I talk to in relation to we always make time for what we
yeah,
prioritize.
absolutely.
So, so my question to everyone is, are you prioritizing you? Because
Mm,
you're right, we all know, like, it's not groundbreaking science. We all know that exercise, eating well, and providing space in our
mm,
head for thought, and whether you want to call it meditation or quiet time or
yeah.
whatever, that space is so important. And so every time we crowd that out of our day, we are not honoring ourselves.
Mm,
That's it. And it's yeah, and it's tough to do, but what I have learnt the hard way is the days that you do not feel like you have 2 seconds to allocate to you
mm.
is the days that you need it
You
the
need it
most.
most. Absolutely. It's so true. So
And to
true.
take yourself out of the intensity that is sometimes those days, like we just spoke about, we've both had days where everyone seems to want a piece of you, the phone never stops, you've got back-to-back appointments. 15 minutes, block out 15 minutes, turn the phone off, do not look at an email, whatever you have to do to create that for yourself, and it will transform the rest of your day
Mm,
because you have
absolutely.
honored you are in the right headspace emotionally. You will be so far up that ladder, um, and then you can cope, with the hustle and the bustle of the
Yeah.
day. So yeah, it
Amazing.
is. And
Well,
it's tough to do, but so important.
so worth it. So worth it. Juliane, thank you so much for your time today and yesterday. This has been the best chat, and I'm sure, I've got like a bunch of scribbles here, and I'm sure everybody watching along in the recording is just going to have the same thing. Taken so much away from it. Juliane, as you said, your business is with Trevor and it's called Topcatz. I've just put some links in the chat box here. So if they're watching the recording, people should be able to either click those or copy and paste them, hopefully. And also, I'm not sure if Amazon is the best place to buy your book, but that's just the first one that popped up before when I Googled it in. So if anybody would like to know more about Juliane and the beautiful work that she does in the world, visit topcatz.com.au, and it's Topcatz with a Z. Visit her website or buy her book. I can attest it is brilliant. I'm only a couple chapters in, but I'm loving it already. Juliane, thank you. I hope to see you again soon.
Thank you. Oh, I'm sure we'll catch up soon, and it's been a lot of fun. Thanks, Yaz.
Pleasure. Thanks, Juliane. Bye.
Bye.